My sister banned me from her wedding, claiming her fiancé has feelings for me. Now he's refusing to marry her over it. Family has always been complicated for me. My name is Michelle. I'm 20 years old, and I've spent my entire life feeling like the black sheep of my family. My older sister, Emily, is 5 years older than me and the golden child in every sense of the word. She's the one my parents praised, protected, and invested in. I was always in her shadow, struggling with social anxiety that my family dismissed as being dramatic or difficult. Over the years, I learned to keep my distance. Family gatherings were tense for me, but I tried to attend for the sake of appearances. Things hit a breaking point earlier this year when Emily announced her engagement to her fiancé, Jonathan. He seemed nice enough, polite and attentive in a way that made me feel noticed, I guess. It was surprising, considering how invisible I felt in my family. That's when things started to spiral. Emily began to act cold toward me, throwing passive aggressive comments my way whenever Jonathan was in the room. She accused me of being overly friendly with him, even though I was barely making small talk. I brushed it off, thinking she was just stressed about wedding planning. But a month before the wedding, she dropped the bombshell. I was banned from attending. Emily told me flat out that Jonathan clearly had feelings for me and that my presence would ruin her big day. I was stunned. I barely knew the guy. Sure, he'd been kind to me, but that's it. I tried to defend myself, but Emily refused to listen. My parents, predictably, sided with her, telling me I needed to respect her wishes and keep my distance. I was heartbroken, but agreed to stay away. However, word got back to Jonathan about why I wasn't attending, and he was furious. He called me to ask for the full story, and I hesitantly told him what Emily had said. His response shocked me. That's insane. I would never treat someone like that, let alone someone who's supposed to be family. Jonathan confronted Emily, and their fight apparently got so heated that he called off the wedding entirely. He told her he couldn't marry someone who would ostracize her own sister over an insecure, baseless accusation. Emily was livid and immediately turned her anger on me. She showed up at my apartment, screaming and demanding I fix the situation by lying and saying I had feelings for Jonathan so he would take her back. I refused. That's when things got ugly. Emily began harassing me nonstop, sending threatening texts, spreading lies about me to extended family, and even vandalizing my car. I turned to Reddit for advice, and the overwhelming consensus was to protect myself legally. With the support of kind strangers and some much needed therapy, I started documenting everything. Eventually, I filed for a restraining order and pressed charges against Emily for harassment and vandalism. She was arrested, and I won a small civil settlement against her. My parents were furious, calling me cruel for ruining Emily's life, but I realized I didn't owe them anything anymore. The silver lining in all this is that I've learned to stand up for myself. I've cut off contact with my family and am focusing on building a life free from their toxicity. Jonathan reached out once to apologize for the drama, and while we aren't in touch anymore, I'll always be grateful for his role in exposing the truth. Now, I'm thriving in ways I never thought possible. I've made amazing friends who are like family to me and am pursuing a career I'm passionate about. For the first time in my life, I feel free. If I've learned anything from this nightmare, it's that boundaries